Hey, fam, what's going on? It's your boy Kevin.
Tanya.
Yeah, man, we here with another episode of Couples Connect, and we're gonna talk about some business tonight.
All right, some business. I love it. Love talking business.
Couples doing business, man. We always enjoy talking to other couples who are doing major things in the business sector, got their own business, growing, expanding, doing some amazing things. But we know there's some challenges, just like with us, right? So you know how we do. Let's get all in their business, guys. Bring on Mr. Michael and Constance to the podcast. Welcome, guys.
No,
Huh?
Yeah, man. So thank you guys, man, for being a part of Couples Connect tonight for this episode. I love it. We haven't talked to a couple in a while about business, man. You guys are a couple that's, in a growing business. Y'all doing some big things, expanding. We want to know all the juice. We want all the gossip, all the stories. Because it got to be, it ain't all that easy running a business, sometimes with your spouse, right? So, we want to know how y'all do it, man, how it's going. But real quick, let people know, man, real quick, who you guys are and where you from. That's all we want to know. Who you are, where you from.
I'll start. The name is Mike Longo. I'm from DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's a French-speaking country. A little bit about my background. Moved here in the U.S. in 1998. Graduated here at University of Texas, Dallas, and in accounting and information system. And I've been here in the United States now for more than, I guess, since 98. So that makes about 25 years now. No. If I'm making
26?
27.
Wow.
Yeah, if the math is correct. But, glad, thank you really to have us.
I'm Constance Longo. I'm originally from Nigeria. I've been back and forth here, grew up a little bit in California, a little bit in Louisiana, came back here in 99, and we met in college. Well, his sister, friend of mine. That's how we met in
Yeah,
college.
she couldn't resist.
Anyway, so I've been here now for that long, since 99. And we currently, have a business that does taxes, bookkeeping, payroll, and a whole bunch of other things. MyCon
So
Tax
so
Services.
so wait a minute, man. You mentioned something that I did not know. I heard you say Louisiana. What
Yes, well, you can Medicaid.
y'all
Yeah, I went to J.D. Meisler School.
say it again?
J.D. Meisler Middle School for a hot minute, though.
Okay, I got you. Wow, I didn't know that. I was okay, Louisiana. Well, we both from Louisiana. That's why I was asking, like, what you talking about, Louisiana?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Oh,
she from New
d'accord.
Orleans. You say Metairie, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been to all the places, Orleans, Baton Rouge, places over there.
New
That's
Iberia?
fun. I'm sorry?
New Iberia?
No.
Never heard of New Iberia.
Never heard of New Iberia?
It sounds
Man, don't do
familiar,
that.
though.
Okay.
I always
Don't do New
get that.
Iberia.
Okay,
Don't do New Iberia
like
like that.
places on my
Nobody
own,
heard about New Iberia.
Don't do New
New
Iberia like
Iberia is
that.
so small.
Beast, stand up. The beast, stand up. Hey, well, listen, man, let's get into it. So, MyCon Taxes is y'all business, right? But don't y'all have more than one business? Y'all got another business, right? Or is it just MyCon?
Well, we can stay, mm, well,
Well,
Constance, you
well,
should talk.
well. It's MyCon, but it's different than MyCon Tax Services, MyCon Bookkeeping, MyCon Payroll, MyCon Group, and
Okay.
we have something else with a different name to other companies, but I'm keeping it under wraps right now because we're still working on the project, which
Yeah.
should be launching in 2026, hopefully sometime early spring or middle of summer, and then we can talk about that project. But right now, we're keeping it a little under wraps.
Yeah.
I
So I
got you.
think, yeah. So really, we've been into business. I think start where when we were a little bit younger. So we've been married for more than 20 years now. So it's been about 23, if the math is correct.
Yeah,
2002,
yeah.
yes, 2002, January 2002, and then I think at that time, if about around the 2005 or six. Also, she's a very, I would say, good artist. She really love interior decoration. And then we got to really start with a business of owner a ballroom. Okay, we call it MyCon the ballroom. I mean, you must see that you gonna listen that the theme of the name of our business now, MyCon. So you
Mike and
understand,
Constance.
Mike and Constance.
Hey, well, let them know where the MyCon stand for though, since because I mean I know, but I mean everything is MyCon, so
Yes,
why
yes,
Yeah.
MyCon?
yes. Yeah, MyCon or MeCon. I guess it was, yeah, why? I think
Well, growing up, my family had some businesses, and each time my parents came up with a business, my mother, my father, they always used the letters of our name to come up with their business name. And so for me, it was only natural for me to use our names to come up with the business name.
yeah, you say MyCon, people sometimes say MeCon. So, but it's really the first two letters of both our first name. I mean, yeah,
Two letters of hate, three in mine.
three for her. So it's Mike and Constance. So the team was for whatever we're doing, we're doing it as a team. And then the idea was for us to sort of start something that reflect that get a piece of each one, okay,
And grow.
and grow together. And then, as you can tell, we coming from Africa, okay, from Congo and Nigeria. We the sense of having things set up where I guess the male, okay, the male species, we tend to be always, the one that is above. We didn't want to do that. I think our idea is, I mean, she
A
brings
partnership.
a partnership, okay, and the idea is, I'm the number guys. She's put everything together, hanging everywhere, put everything together, organize everything, putting some good foundation to what we're building, and then that's really the concept of everything we're doing, and that's the way things actually started for us.
Yeah, and the thought was pretty much the vision is building a legacy for our children.
Yeah.
That's really what it was, the vision of, you hear of all these big names out there, and you think about it when you go to their history. It started by, a small family, and then before you know what, it's a whole thing. So we had and still have our children, our future generations in mind when we created
Yeah.
the company. And it's like it's a gift that we want to give to our generations.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Did you guys work, or what were you guys doing before you started your business? Your businesses.
For me, business kind of started, he's always been doing mostly kind of accounting stuff. But before then, so we met in college. When we met in college, there was a little drama before we got married. So
Hold up. That's what we want. Give us that drama. What happened, Mike?
we have strong cultures. And Nigerian culture especially, well, I was supposed to go to medical school, but I met this guy. And, long story short, I decided, I don't really want to go to medical school, but things happen along the way. And so we got married because of family drama. After we got married, then we were still college students. I stopped going to school for a little bit. We made a deal. I'm like, okay, you know what? You go ahead. After you finish, then I'm going to go back to school. But in the meantime, we're still college kids and, broke college kids.
Yeah, we
And
got
so-
married. I was 23.
And I was 20. Well,
She was
I
21.
was 20 because I
this is
couldn't
so
drink
good.
legally when we first got married.
So yeah, we started way, way, way early. And I think from both of us, I came from a family. I'm the oldest. When we moved here in United States, I came here. My family is family of 7. Okay, I'm the oldest, and then there's actually a lot of girls, about 4 girls, 3 boys, and then so when we first come here as a United States here, immigrant with the green card, so the focus has been that, hey, you hear the American dreamer, you want to start everything started. So I start really, really going to school and working, here job until I finished school. So then when we met at that time, she was still going to school. Then I think the drama that she doesn't want to mention is more that let's put like my father-in-law was not happy to have these Congolese guys messed up the daughter dream. Okay.
Well, it was his dream. You see, I'm the best daughter.
Hey, are there some drama between Congo in Nigeria was
Yeah. So you will tell you stuff. So Nigerians tend to be,
Very serious.
very serious, colonized by with the British background. So everything is like, black and white. So Congolese in an African community, people know us for our music,
Party.
entertainment. That basically we what we call in French la joie de vivre. Okay, so we love
We
life.
enjoy life.
We love to enjoy life. We are like, so there's been some stereotype about Congolese folks, especially the men. They love fashion. They are not serious.
Love to party more than study. That was stereotype.
So then when the father heard that he was a Congolese guy, let's put it like he was not happy. And there's a name that they call us, the Congolese, they call us Makossa people. So Makossa is like a specific song that all African, I mean, if you heard that song, they will know it's from Congo, and then everybody love that. So the Makossa people are entertainment, and they love party. I don't know if they take us very serious on everything that we're doing. So you must imagine, and she's an A student, okay, very smart. She came here, she had a scholarship. So basically all that glory. And then, these Congolese guys over there messed up all the plans. So, and then I mean to say, okay, she got pregnant just before we even finished school. So at 23, I was 23, 21, still going to school. And then, I show up, and then I changed.
Being the first daughter is a big deal in my culture. Plus, also, before I came here, there was an agreement, which I did not agree to, that I was going to come study and then go back and get married. And there were suitors for me to choose from. So all that went out the window.
Yeah.
But I would have still, you know what? I would have still gone to medical school, but then my dad cut me off. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pay for medical school out of my pocket. I can't afford it anyway. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't have to go to medical school. I'm going to study something else,
What did you end up studying?
Business, media, and physical science,
Okay.
And I mean, I was really good with the sciences and everything, but in as much as I love that, that was more, I think, my family's dream for me, and especially my father's dream for me, because when we were born, okay, my dad, right from when we were kids, is like, you're going to be an engineer, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be, basically your profession was assigned to you as a child, and that was what had been driving me. So I was on that path that was assigned to me, but I was good at it, and it's debatable if I love it, but I do kind of like it, but it was hard to tell because it was assigned to me right from when I was a child,
Yeah.
But I mean, ended up finishing school. It's just that, things end up changing because I'm like, okay, you know what? If I have to pay for my stuff, then I might as well just pay for something that I really enjoy, And for me, I remember when I first got cut off, I was really sad and I cried. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then I told myself, you know what? I guess that means I'm free. I'm broke, but I'm free, but it's one of those things, we're married, living together, we had our kids, and as college students, of course, you can't really afford a lot of stuff. And at that point, when we first got married, so he was working at 7-Eleven and doing security. So that was also another problem.
It was, I did also discount tire as well. I did a lot while going to school.
I know your dad wasn't happy, Constance, with.
No,
I was not representing.
My dad was in oil and gas. My dad's in oil and gas. And then, so some of my friends, I told them like, oh no, she did it because, when you go to a house in Nigeria, most places you have like security and things like that. So like, oh, she married the help. And so that became a whole.
I'll tell you.
Man, they were dogging you wrong, man. Golly, Mike.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't see what the problem was until I was talking to my cousin. And she's like, do you realize what you did? I'm like, what did I do? And then she started explaining, okay, how we live, the lifestyle and everything. But for me, I guess my parents raised us. It's funny that we had to go through that because my parents raised us not to care about those things. But I guess it didn't matter until it was their daughter,
Yes. Because Imagine, so the his dad was a really top executive over there with working for all business. So
Petroleum industry.
petroleum industry. So just imagine, right? So not only is this Congolese guy, okay, this Makosa guy, okay, hanging around the daughter, and then like she said, she had planned for the future suitor. I mean, there was, different people over there. I'm sure that they wanted it. And then the daughter then decide to, you can say that she rebel. Okay. I can tell also she rebel. And then we all those
It's
things.
not rebellion.
Yeah, so with all those things, so got cut off. But anyway, needed to say that we just really just asked, okay.
I think it was the best thing because I guess my parents, my father didn't anticipate was that if I got cut off, I was still going to continue on my path because of the way I was raised with the lifestyle. So the anticipation was that, well, if we cut off the finances, she's going to come back, but I'm a kind of person that I'll make $1 out of 15 cents. Okay. I will make it work. And that's just the attitude we've always had. So while he was also going to school, working those odd jobs, then while we had the kids, I'm like, okay, at some point in time, his job made him start traveling. When he started his accounting job, he was traveling a lot. And I was like, okay, who's going to take care of the kids? I tried working at other places, other jobs, but then it's like, when you're working, it's as if, especially when you're starting out in life, the pay you're getting, it's like you're working to pay for daycare. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I told him, you know what? I don't need gold. I just want to stay home with my kids, make sure they grow well and everything. And then while I was doing that, I have other skills. So I started doing weddings, wedding planning, wedding decor. I actually got into the wedding industry by doing damage control for other wedding planners and decorators. Let's say their stuff is not going well. They're like, hey, Constance, it's going bad. Can you come help me? So I'll show up, help them fix the stuff, and then I'm gone because the whole point is discretion. Nobody needs to know I was there. And that was how I started doing that. And before you know what, I started doing my own event planning and decor for brides, as well as party setups and things like that. Then I got a bridal consultant certification. So I'm a certified bridal consultant. And I continued that way because I really enjoyed, the whole party scene and everything.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I really started doing. We ended up having a ballroom after a few years. And the interesting thing is, I tell people, if there's a way, where there's a will, there's a way. Because when I first started doing wedding decor and things like that, we didn't have enough money to do that. But it was called planning, So basically, when I consult with the client, I will calculate what they need, what I need to to do their decor, to do their event. And then I get a deposit. The deposit is normally enough to pay for the starter materials. And then based on that, before the event, they pay the balance. And that's how I started doing stuff. And before you knew what, my house was getting full of decorations, had a storage. Yeah, it was an apartment at that time. We're in an apartment. And then we had one of the bedrooms converted into an office. Before you know what, we moved into a house, had a big old storage. At some point in time, we ended up getting an event space. And we had a ballroom for about almost 5 years. Yeah. But we had to close it because I had a complicated pregnancy. And after that happened, I couldn't find the right person to take over that business at the time. And our branding was very big to me because when we got the ballroom, everything I've been doing, has been with Mike's support. We used to do things together. Like whenever he's available on the weekends, he would join me. We'll carry the stuff, help with the setups. And our kids too. My daughter is very good at origami, at folding, because she used to help me fold napkins. Mm-hmm. So I took my kids everywhere because I felt, although they would quietly stay at home, but I felt that that was part of the education that I will be giving to them. And I feel like they're adults now, but I feel like that was really good for their foundation, for their growth, as individuals to understand that, okay, you have to do work for things to happen. But it's skills that you learn. Also, you learn how to deal with people. You learn, how to manage a business and things like that. So we included our kids right from when they were little, from age 4 or 5 years old. Even if you just put the fork, put a knife on the table.
Yeah.
So-
Man, let me go back real quick before we move on, because you said something that was pretty important, I think. We went through it pretty quick, but you said how you guys started, right? And how you got to a place of actually, getting an actual brick and mortar, a building, event space. But you said the very thing you said was we didn't have a whole lot of money to start, right?
Yeah.
And that's super important for someone who might be wanting to do a business, wanting to start a business, and they feel like, oh, we don't have the money, I don't have this, I don't have that. But it's kind of like you guys had the mentality. It's like, no, like you said, where there's a will, there's a way. And you found a system where you got to deposit, right? To get the money, that way you had the money up front to get the things you needed, and then you was able to start to kind of build from there, and you build it up so much to the point to where you were able to have eventually an event space. That's big right there, just for someone who's thinking, maybe I don't have the money to start, right? And they need to understand that, hey, where there's a will, there's a way. You just find a way to make it work. And so I just applaud you just on that. I just didn't want to run past that, very important piece of everything, because I'm pretty sure there are people who feel like, they just don't want to start their business because they feel like, I don't have the money. And, you got to make it do what it do.
And let me ask you a question with that. Did you take that money that you made from your from your business, small business? Did you take that money, or did you have to borrow money, more money
No,
to open up your
I never
business?
borrowed any.
So
I
did
never.
you
I, I
the money that you got from that, were you able to just save that money? Was that, because this is important too. Were you able
no,
to
not.
save that money, or you had to put some of that money toward your household as well? So how did that work?
Hey, fam, what's going on? It's your boy Kevin.
Tanya.
Yeah, man. So, hey, we just wanted to kind of drop in real quick just to let you know that we appreciate you guys, man, for watching and supporting the channel. We put some energy and effort into this thing, and we want to help marriages all over the world. We really do, man. We really want marriages to win, but we need your support. How can they support us, baby?
By liking,
Mm-hmm.
sharing, and
Mm-hmm.
subscribing.
There you go. Say it again.
Liking,
Mm-hmm.
sharing,
Mm-hmm.
and subscribing.
Check it out. Did you know that to subscribe to a channel is absolutely free?
Right.
Free 99. Check it out.
$3.99.
That's right. So if you subscribe, all it's going to do is help push the algorithm out so more and more people can see the content. If it's blessing you, imagine how many more people it can bless. So once again, all you got to do is
Like,
mm,
subscribe,
mm,
and share
good
in any
deal.
order.
In any order, baby. In any order, we'll take it. So we appreciate you guys, man. We love the support. So back to the episode.
Peace. Work.
So just also to put in perspective, why, like everything started like in 2014. So about 2000, I mean, we
No,
closed
that
out,
started early on.
yeah, we closed before about 2014. Let's say in 2010. So by that time, I already started, I finished school, already. And then I start, working at the corporate. I had a corporate office job working as
Mhm.
a financial auditor for an international company. The fund, the money at least was enough. I started over there as an intern, right? So the internship I was doing allowed us to at least take care of the things we needed to do for the house. I mean, for the place we were staying. Okay. So now the way the business grew to the level where we got to find ourselves a place is like you mentioned, right? The way Constance will actually do is she will plan the way, let's say, an event, for example, to do the wedding with the decoration, and everything. Okay. She'll figure out you for my service about 2,500 at that time. 2,500. The down payment will be maybe 1,000, and then with that, she will really use that money to go. When you call like stretch that money, and doing everything by herself, like
Find wholesalers to purchase
wholesaler,
things.
wholesaler, and then buy all the little stuff that she's gonna need for the decoration, flower, all the things, so that at the end, once everything is used, the margin profit, maybe not like a big money, but it's gonna be where at the end, once everything is used, and once everything is paid out, maybe 500, okay, on top, okay, that you coming up on top of profit, okay, of what you did, and then things like that, with the money that he would do with the event here and there, that allowed us to have at least I would say enough money to to at least be able, I won't say a lot of money. I think it was enough to put the down payment for for a place we were renting, for a place
Venue.
for a venue that we're renting, and that she negotiated very well. Okay, you have to negotiate, right? So if we're signing a lease for that place for about 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, the idea was, okay, give us maybe a few months, in the beginning, free. Okay, like we had like 4 months.
About 4 months.
Yeah, about 4 months free.
Time to move
Yeah,
in.
things settled, get
Market.
ready, market. So that's the way you negotiate. We were negotiating things so that we
With the
can,
building owners.
yeah, with the building owner, so that we can stretch. Okay, we can stretch any money that we have to be able to take care of what need to be the essential that need to be done for the business, so that by the time that the customers start coming, by the time that clientele grow, then you're able to make a profit out of the what you're doing.
Yeah, because one thing about a small business is that with any business whatsoever, you don't just start making a profit from day one for most
Yeah.
businesses anyway. So you have to anticipate that. And so that's where the negotiation with the landlord comes in, and every business needs to, if the negotiation doesn't go well, just go to somewhere else until you get the right terms that is feasible for you. So that was something that was important. And one critical point, in order for me to get all the decor that I ended up amassing over the years, I started by having all the basics, like, okay, for example, white flowers. Most people use white flowers, white, red flowers, because red goes for Valentine's and things like that. So I have basic colors. And then linens, I have white, red, and black also. So that any other color that people wanted, that was an extra. That was an extra charge. That was an upcharge. And so you have to plan it. So when I purchase, I do my bulk buying. I buy the things that almost everybody uses, and that's how you cut your costs. But then you have to be creative, because you're using the same material. So you have to rearrange it differently so that it looks different, because nobody wants to go somewhere and, let's say you have like 3 friends and you have one decorator doing all 3 weddings, using the same materials. You have to be creative, because you don't want this person goes there, her wedding looks like that person's wedding, looks like that person's wedding. Nobody wants that, So you have to learn how to be creative with your material also, and actually learn how to charge. And that's why I actually went and I did it through Penn Forster, a bridal consultant certification. And the reason for that was I was doing all this decoration, but I felt like I wasn't getting the right kind of profit. So I felt I needed to do something, and that's how I learned some things that I was missing. Okay, this is how you need to charge. Oh, you need to collect all of your money before the event and things like that. So you learn some basic things that under normal circumstances, most people operate business blindly, but there is a process to it.
That's good. I mean, you said something really important there just now, because what you did was you invested in yourself in a way that, you learn how to actually run your business and how to charge for your services, because a lot of times we as business owners, we don't know how to do that. So we're scared to charge what we're worth, or we're scared to charge what we should charge. So we undercharge and we overwork. So that was
Yeah,
a really great nugget you just put out there.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is actually the nugget that we learn on every venture we get ourselves into.
Yeah.
So this is like the first test of business that we got ourselves
As a partnership.
as a partnership, and I think, like she explained, about 24
To close the
to
venue.
close the venue, because not necessarily everything succeed. I think we learn it, right. First of all, we were renting a place, and then we had the issue with the building being
It was an older building.
older
so there were
building,
plumbing issues.
problem issue, and then all those cost that kind of
And then we did the whole floor with wood floors. So just think about all the investment. We redid the bathrooms, new toilets, painted everything, did it nicely, redid the floors in the place, wood floors, did some ceiling fixtures, did a bar, a mosaic bar, and we did all this on a property that we did not own.
Yes, I was
But
about to say that. Wow.
you want, depending on what your standards are, you're going for a certain level of aesthetics. You have to customize your business to look the way you want to present yourself. And so we had to do all those things. So after we got out of that, that was one of the lessons learned, that okay, if we're going forward to open another venue, which we plan to do in the future, we have to own it, because it's one of those things when we have issues, when there was a plumbing issue, the owners may come, they will fix that one little issue. But if I own the property, I will fix it properly and be done with that problem, right? So it's one of those things you learn, that okay, when you own something, the degree to which you can make it your own and make it suit your standard is very different from when you're leasing a space from somebody else, because they'll fix it however way they feel like, but when you own something, you can fix it to the standard you want it to be,
that was like one of the lessons learned. We say to ourselves that that would be the way we wanted to move our business into, like the ownership, okay, of what we're doing. So it was a lesson learned. We took a good break, I would say, but Constance would do all the
I continued doing
decoration on the side for the people that need it, for the client. Then up to now, she's still receiving call for the for the old place we closed 10 years ago.
11 years ago.
Yes, 11 years ago. It's just insane. That place, the just to tell how much work that we did. And then when we left that place, restaurant took over that place, and then they were still using our same
they were still using our name, and I had to call them to cease and desist.
Our name, and just to be able to continue. And then they had also to just that, and the people still calling her to say, like, hey, I want to rent this place up to now, just to tell you how much of the work that you do. But we just realized that we did not own the place, and then with all the headache that was coming with it, and we invested a lot. I won't say it was a failure, but we were in the red, okay, when we left that place, okay? Let's just put it like that. So we needed to have...
we needed to replan, regroup. Because think about it.
Yes.
You make all this investment, you do all this improvement on the property that you do not own. And then the amount of money you're spending on the rent, on the lease for the property, you could be paying a mortgage and own your own property. So when we're going to business, there's a lot of stuff I would say we did not think about at the initial stages. But then by the time we were done with that, we knew exactly what we kind of wanted to do and exactly what we were not going to do anymore when it comes to business. And then also, it also depends on the type of business. So even though, we ended up now a couple of years later starting the tax business, which was an existing business which we purchased from someone. That also had its challenges with the marketing, because we had to transition, and let the clients know that, hey, we're doing this, we're new owners, but at the same time, you want to keep them comfortable so they don't go like, oh, who are these people? Because when you're doing taxes, you're dealing with sensitive information, people's social, births, all those things, and so people's livelihood. So people need to know that everything is secure. So we had to transition in a way that they could feel safe, they could feel comfortable with the new ownership, and that way we could retain the clients. Because when we bought the business, we bought the clients that came with it, and in order to make sure that we kept things as close as possible to make the clients not to freak out, we even bought the phone number. We bought as many communication channels that came with the business, and then just gradually start changing the name and changing everything, and gradually ease the clients in. Because that's one thing that I know that when you buy a new business, that there's no, even though you buy the client list and there's no guarantee that you're going to retain all the clients. So I mean, we were able to retain about 90% of the clients, when we
Wow.
purchased the business. Yeah, and which was it was awesome. And the crazy thing is that was around COVID.
COVID.
That was around COVID.
I think
So
it was a blessing in disguise the more I think about it, because when COVID started, everything shut down. So that means people don't have to come, to a location, and everything we had to basically reinvent ourselves to set up the things remote, and then sending people email, and then, and be able to reach those clients. They never met you, they don't know you, and then you send who's that people. Taxes, like you say, very sensitive, very personal. It's like we are like your financial doctor, right? So it's like when you go to the regular doctor that you always go, okay, you don't want to change. It's like I don't want to change. So that was the little battle that we had to do for our business growing, but COVID help us to at least
to kind of retain more clients, I think.
to retain more clients. And then because some of them was like, as long as I still feel like that I'm getting the same quality of service, they were always to go. But we did it was a daunting experience, but we glad that one actually took us to the level we are now. As you can tell, like the business we started initially was with constant skills, okay, and then ability, to stretch anything. Me be a student, me just barely starting a job, and then be able to kind of hold everything together at home. But once we started with the tax business, that one was more into my area. Okay, I graduated in accounting. I was an auditor. I have tax background. But
it was something he enjoyed, unlike the ballroom. He didn't care for that.
No, it's not like I did not care for that. It was physical labor. It was physical labor.
The beginning of the business, yes, it was more physical labor. I'm like, okay, would I even go to the gym anyway?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
move,
did lose
move
weight.
the table, move the chairs, and all that stuff.
Like I was getting up from work, get to the ballroom, basically, rolling my sleeve. All right, we're gonna have to roll those tables, put it back together. Decoration, the way she wanted to be designed, make sure that all the flower were ready at the end of the party. When the party finished at 1 or 2 o'clock, all right. If they don't pay for if they pay for cleaning, guess who's gonna clean? Yours truly. I'm mapping, getting ready, because I mean we were struggling. I mean, she said that I did not actually. I did.
He did a lot.
I did enjoy it.
Kicking and screaming.
I did enjoy it. It's just like I told her the next time we get into it, we're gonna hire people.
I mean, he's like, I have done more manual labor in my whole life since I've been married to you than I have my whole life before I met you.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
But at the beginning of the business,
Go ahead.
no, so at the beginning of the business, that's how it had to be, because before you start hiring people, before you get to the point where you can hire people, somebody still got to get things done, and that's what it was. We divided the labor. I do the setup, the decor, and then he does the cleanup or the part of the setup. And that was it. We had to divide the work. Okay, what do you like? Which one are you going to do? Well, I wouldn't say what do you like, because he didn't like any of it.
No, I didn't know how to do the other part.
Exactly. He didn't know how to do the other part, so he was stuck with that part.
It was.
And that's what I was gonna ask too about. But it sounds like you guys have a lot of fun working together. Is that true?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a lot
It
of
looks like it. But you had to learn
ahead.
your land. That's what you was just talking about. You had to learn your land.
Correct.
And
Yes.
that's the thing with couples, a lot of times you go at it with each other, you fussing,
Oh
you
my God.
bickering,
I
all of
will tell
that.
you some story.
Tell us stories. Come on, Mike.
She was the boss. Okay. She's a type A kind of person, and I had to learn it the hard way. Okay. in the sense that when she has a vision, I don't know if all planner or decorator are like that. It's like the way she see it, it better come the way you say. So me, the worker, I'll be like, listen, that's just the same white. I'm gonna put this linen here. There's no dirt on it. Oh, this does little touch. So yes, I had to learn the hard way to listen to what she say, or I'll be in trouble.
Oh, the tablecloths, the linens are not symmetrical. Like one is shorter, one side is shorter, one side is longer.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm very particular because think about it. I tell people all the time, who's planning your events? Perfectionist or somebody who's carefree? You know, you want a perfectionist who's going to make sure everything goes the way you want it to be. You know, and yes, we did have a few things here and now and here and then. And I remember one time because when we had the ballroom, at some point in time he got laid off. At some point that he got laid off, then I was working.
I'm working full time.
I was a substitute teacher, but then, you know, during the day and then, you know, weekends and during the week, I still come and do the decoration and things like that. So when I go do my substitute teaching, when I come back to the ballroom, I expect that, okay, you know, since limited income, being laid off, okay, we need the linens and everything set up. You know, we're not going to pay extra for that. You're going to do this. And so sometimes I will come and the stuff is not fully done. And then we got into it one day and he's like, you're not my boss. I'm like, well, because one day he's like, you know what, I could be a stay-home dad. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, let me tell you something. Okay, because I've been a stay-home mom. When you say stay-home mom, but I've been doing all this decoration and things, okay? I'm like, okay, as a stay-home mom, this is what I do, this is what I do. So I told him, sure, you could be a stay-home dad, but you're going to do all the stuff I normally do. So we tried it out for 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
And I promise you, by the second week, he started, I guess, filling out applications everywhere, and he got a job. He's like, wow.
This one
He
here.
was wondering how you did what you did.
Listen, a lot of respect to her. I don't know how she was doing this thing. And then, so we had at that time, like those two little ones. And then, but yes, it was, you see, sometimes when it's funny when Constance and I looking backward, I just sometimes realize that what were we thinking? Okay. At the age we got married, okay. At the commitment we got ourselves into, I'm like, how? For me, I believe that it was God blessing, God grace. And then I always tell her that we are, in the school of life. Okay. Is where we, coming here in the United States as immigrant, and then you know, trying to live, you know, to what's it? I call it American dream, but to try to live the life that you hope to get, right? So you work very hard to what you do, and then sometimes you take on things sometimes that as like don't understand how we're able leap of faith because it was like I just don't know how we did it. Okay, how we did it because, you know, barely for what I was getting for my hourly job, and then for what we're making. And so we have an apartment we have to pay, and then you have on top of that next to it this rental place that you got yourself into. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh. And then but we know we survive, we learn it, but grinding.
But it wasn't just surviving. I wouldn't use the word survive because by the time all was said and done, we had a plan. We're like, okay, we're going to do this again. But now we know what to do. You know, we know how to navigate it. It's not like we've perfected it. We've not perfected it, but we know how to get to where we want to get to at this point in time. We know what to avoid. And then we saw things that we didn't see because the thing is, you know, there's no success without failure. And to me, failure is a tool. It's all about how you look at things. If you look at failure as a problem, then it will be a problem. But if you look at it as a tool, basically, when you allegedly fail to do stuff, you're basically, maybe some things weren't done right. You go back to the drawing board and you say, okay, what could I have done better? You know, and you evaluate everything you've done to that point. And then you can, if you pay enough attention, you can see where you could have done things differently, and you make a plan to do so, and then you try again, you know, because no risk, no reward. It's not that one takes, you know, reckless risk or whatever. The risks are calculated, you know. I really believe, you know, we are all created in a way that everyone is created complete. I believe God created everybody complete, and all you need to succeed is already within you as an individual. And all you need, you just have to, you know, see it in yourself, accept it, own it, and then put it out in the world. It's just like, anybody can start any business. You don't need much money. When I started, the decoration stuff, I didn't use any of my cash, which I didn't have anyway, just use my God-given talent. I'm like, okay, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, and used from there. And that's how we started building things. But, teamwork, I can't overemphasize, the team, learning how to work as a team, and sometimes you just have to agree to disagree. I tell people all the time, it's one thing I tell my brides, okay, because I had to deal with a lot of brides. When the wedding's coming, there's a lot of drama that happens sometimes. You have to let people understand that, when you rise together. When you fall together. So you're a team, and you have to think that way. And you have to, for lack of a better word, you have to have this us against the world type mentality. And you have to want the best for yourself as a group. You have to want the best for your team, and then work towards what you want for your team, and be open and honest with each other. Yes, there'll be disagreements along the way, but I always tell my brides and the grooms that for those of you who have siblings or you have relatives, you have disagreements, you have fights with them. What makes you think that you're going to go and be in a relationship with someone of a different blood, different background from somewhere else, and you're not going to have conflict? That makes no sense. If you're going to have conflicts with your siblings, what makes you think you're going to get married to somebody and you're not going to have conflicts now and then? That's impossible, but you have to learn to navigate, walk through things. But it is important also that when you're out there, you make sure your value system is correct, because if your value system is off, when you get together with someone, if your value system is not what it needs to be, there will be a disconnect right from the beginning. You may not want to accept it, but most of the time, I believe that couples really know if there's a disconnect or not right off the bat. It's just sometimes some people might choose, okay, you know what, I can make this work. Or I think honesty is just the most important thing. Honesty in everything. You have to be honest with your dreams. Because when we at that stage now, like even till now, sometimes we get off from work, even in the car, because sometimes we're coming back home together, working in the same office, we're like, or even if we're driving separate cars, we're talking to each other on the phone, and we're talking about our future. We're planning, still building our future, talking about what we want. And, we're constantly reevaluating our dream, constantly reevaluating our plan. Where are we going? Where do we want to go? How do we want to get there? Sometimes you have to rebuild your dream, or you have to make an addendum to whatever dream or plan you already have.
Wow, I was gonna say that's pretty dope, man. That was beautiful because it is definitely one of those things where you have to stay connected to your spouse because, like you said, we in it together. We fail together. We win together. So all that was just real beautiful, man. What you just said, and I want to know this though, man, because I've dealt with Constance more than I've dealt with Mike. I know Mike. She probably, got you at the office slaving, working hard, bro, while she out there,
My gosh.
you know,
You want me to
why she's out there connecting and making deals in the streets. But when the times that when I'm around Constance and I've seen her and I've truly, and I'm gonna just say this, man, I'm gonna give you your flowers because your hustle is real. And I see it. I see your hustle. Even when I talk to you, just the way you're thinking and moving, it's just been a joy, man. And that's why I really wanted you and Michael on the podcast because
Thank you.
I see your hustle and I wanted to know based on your hustle and how you move. Cause when everything that Michael was saying, like, she wants it like this and she wants it like that. And she, when she sees it and I could see that in her, man. I could see that being her mentality and her mindset. But where do you think that come from? Do you think it come from, maybe, the little girl that dad, raised and everything how you was brought up? Where does that drive come from? Because you got a drive that's it's
Yes.
pretty obvious.
Also, to add to that, Constance, do you think that you are having to prove something to your family also? Does that play a little piece in? This episode of Couples Connect is sponsored by Just Like You Hair Care System. Introducing Just Like You Hair Care, the perfect solution for healthy, growing, moisturized hair. Our hair growth oil is enriched with essential oils like
calendula, lavender, rose petals, also enriched with nourishing jojoba oil, promoting growth, reducing breakage, and restoring scalp health. Follow with our moisturizing leave-in cream to lock in hydration for smooth, manageable hair all day long. So you get to feel confident with thicker, stronger, and deeply moisturized hair. Our products are made with all natural ingredients and is designed for women or anyone who want a holistic approach to hair wellness. Shop today and experience the transformation. Just like you hair care, your hair, your confidence, and your journey. The link is in the show notes. Now back to the episode.
Well, no, I've always believed I don't have to prove anything to anybody. The only person I need to prove stuff to is myself.
Yes.
And whatever proof I need to give it has to be in the direction of what I want to build for my family. And I wouldn't put it that way, although, I remember when I first got cut off, I told my dad, I'm like, you know what? I have hands and legs, I can work hard and get my own stuff, and that to me, which is true, my dad, I will give him that. My dad has very good work ethic, and yes, I have a lot in common with my father.
He
Mhm.
is like my
This
father.
question
Oh my
came
God.
from
We do butt heads,
They're still butthead now.
but my dad is a dynamic individual. I mean, yes, he's got his degree in petroleum, but the first house our family built, my dad was the architect for it. He understands architecture engineering. He did that. I watched when we were growing up the first plot of land, because when I remember being little and we lived in this small flat. It's a rental. It wasn't very nice, but my dad, fixed the stuff up. It wasn't a nice flat. He fixed everything, made it nice. My dad can even sew, believe it or not, but he fixed everything, made it nice. And then within, I think, a few years, he bought the land where our first family home was built, and he took all of us there as kids. He's like, this is where our house is going to be, and we're going to build it slowly. And the first thing he did, he paid someone, they fenced around the building, fenced around the land, the plot of land, and they use bricks, because back in Nigeria they build a little differently. Everything's built with like cement and sand, brick, not really brick, cement and sand, mortar type thing. And that first house, my mom's brothers, some of them lived with us at the time, and they came in and out when they go to college and come back home. My dad and my mom's brothers, pretty much bent the metal for the foundation of the house. We watched that. And while my dad would be there with my uncles or some laborers building the house, the rest of us, with the kids and my mom, because it was a big land at the time, we would clear. My mom would get someone else to clear, and we would plant corn, cassava, yam. We were farming on the same land at that time because the house was not on it yet. So as all those things were happening, we were farming, because it took a couple of years. And then finally, the first part of the house was built like an apartment side, because it was like a duplex. There's a duplex, the main house, and then there are two apartments up and down. The first apartment, when it got completed, our family moved out of the rental. We moved into that part. And then my dad continued building, then he continued building the other side. By the time he was done building the main side of the house, we moved in there. When we moved in there, he finished up the other side, and then he rented those out. So I've watched my dad do a lot of business stuff, and he also does consulting. He's retired. I don't know how many times he's retired and got out of retirement, because he keeps getting called back. And then now he's a visiting professor at different colleges, or sometimes he might go to some petroleum summits somewhere in Saudi Arabia and stuff like that. But my dad is very disciplined, and yes, the type A personality came from my father. There's just certain things, my dad always used to say, a lion does not give birth to a goat. He has told us that so many times, as in, this is what I expect of you. This is what I have done. This is what, because my father was self-made. Okay. He didn't have, even though it was possible for him to have been helped growing up, he didn't get that help. And he had a single mom raise him, not like, so his dad was there, but, the dad did not help out. And there are other family members that could have done stuff but didn't. And I remember him telling us stories that he had to, as a child, because he used to go catch fish, sell the fish, to buy books and things like that. And he really wanted to go to school. He tells me all the time that the greatest thing his father did for him was when he wanted to go to school. In order to go to school back in the days, his time in Nigeria, you have to be able to spell your name. So he was able to spell his name. And then, the dad also like helped him with that. And he went to school, he started going to school. And that's how he was able to do that. But he will talk about when he's going to school, paddling the canoe, because he lived on an island. You have to paddle the canoe to go to school to get to the mainland. And sometimes it will rain, while he has to go through all that. But, I have to, I give him a lot of props. Regardless of, us butting heads and everything, I have to give my dad a lot of props for, his acumen, and his resilience and diligence and determination to his focus, because he knows what he wanted for his future. He knows what he wanted for his life. And I think seeing that grow up, for both my parents knew what they wanted for their future. And so by the time I got married, I think that seed was planted in me. And so even before I got with Mike, I knew what I wanted in my husband, and I knew what I didn't want. Okay.
That's good.
So because I look at all those things, and I knew what I want from my family. And for me, I need to have the right kind of partner in order for the rest of my vision, what the goals I have in my life to work out, because I have to be with someone whose goals and values align with mine, and that was the biggest thing, and it's not about, yes, I had suitors. I could have gone home and married some buddies or whatever,
It was not my talk, my French talk.
No,
That
baby, it
means
was
that
not
the
the French
fam-
talk.
So you had 10 already before you met
No,
me.
when I met Mike, I knew he was an honest person. When he was saying, and funny thing, I keep telling him, it could have gone wrong, because when his sister took me, we went partying the night before, and then we went to church. It's in my bag. We went to church. And then after that, I brought his sister home. Because she keeps telling me, oh, you need to meet my brother. I'm like, oh, great. Another friend want to set me up with her brother. But when I got there, there were 4 other guys there. So when I showed up, they all stood up, and then Mike just jumped in front of them and took my hand and kissed my hand. And the rest became history, because I tell him all the time, I'm like, I could have been with somebody else among that group.
I told him there was no competition. Like, there's no competition.
No competition, Mike.
She was mine from the beginning. But
Yeah.
I always tell her that you see the personality that you got and what drive her, right? So I always tell her I believe that she's, the yin to my yang, the yang to my yin, whatever it is that people usually say.
I'm the yang. Because he's so good.
She compared me, because, which is a little bit true about the stereotypical communities. We are what we call like, we don't worry too much about things. Okay. I mean, the French culture is like, whatever what will come. Okay. I don't think I had the mentality of planning or figure out things. I had to learn it from her. Okay. And I always tell her that she allowed me to be that person who think further than now. Okay. And then especially even when we left the business of the ballroom and got into the tax businesses, even myself, okay, I needed somebody to convince me, to push me to, that was actually the right approach. And she was there, because even myself, I was doubting. I was not sure. I know I had the skill, but I was not sure. Okay, about getting myself into that, talking to people, dealing with different personality. I'm an outgoing person, but I like my little world. Okay, where I don't have to manage personality, but acumen and then the ability, a sense of I would say business, and then ability and skill that she has, kind of was the right push, okay, for me, and then for us to get ourselves into this this business. Okay, it's really important to have what we call like you, Kevin and Tanya, what we call like a right partner. Okay, all right, and I always thought her that you were the one for my prayer. Like I said, there was no competition for me, because I knew that from the beginning that I was going after her. I didn't know that she would be the one, but for me, it was like, that's the one I'm going with, because I always tell myself that, especially before coming here to the United States, and that was one of my worry. I grew up in a house full of girls. Okay, so I was the pamper one. Okay, she talked about everything that she was doing. People was taking care of everything for me. Okay, I'm the big brother in the server. I was basically baby thing, and I'm a silly guys. Okay, like the things you talk about, going to the farmer and they do all those things. I don't know those things. I mean, I grew up in the city. My dad was a doctor, so I was like all those little things that I think that's what I like what we basically will become, because personality, and then what we're doing, we challenge each other, right? And I believe she challenged me more than I challenged her, because she really complete the part that was missing, okay, on my side. And then that took me time to kind of recognize that. But like, you grow as a couple, you grow on a business also as a couple, and everything come together. You start realizing each other's strength. You start realizing each other, I would say, improvement parts, okay? Because I will tell you something is funny. She understands me more than anybody, okay? I can talk to you. I'm thinking I'm making sense with my French because I'm thinking in French and I'm telling you all those little stuff. So we have episodes where some of our employees will just look at me, stare at me. They don't understand nothing that I'm saying. But she got it. She got it. She understands what I'm trying to say, and she helped me to correct it.
Yeah, not like cut in and be like, okay, this is what he means. Because the funny thing is, when we were first married, when we met, because we were still in college, I also used to like tutor ESL for the community college at that time also. So I would look at some of his paper and stuff, and that was one thing, the language barrier, but that's why when they say love can transcend a lot of stuff, it can, but then love can transcend stuff, but people have to want love to transcend things, because there was a lot of lost in translation, but because I understood, okay, since I'm from a multicultural background also, I know that, okay, normally when you have a second language, the interpretation, the translation in the brain, the way it works is off. So that helped us, because sometimes I would say some things, he's like, are you insulting me? I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I explain it, or sometimes he says something, I'm like, okay, I know this is not what you mean, but this is what you said, So we had some of that also going on. But I think the most important thing is because we're still on a journey. The journey is not over yet. There's still a lot of building to do. I would say that we're still kind of in a foundation stage to a certain degree. But I think the reason things work is because he allows me, to be who I am. Not one day has he tried to change me. And I say that all the time. I'm like, okay, the good, the bad, the ugly, he takes it all. And then, so one time I was saying that
we call it final pushes. You cannot return, okay? Final pushes.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, hey, I'm a little crazy and stuff like that. He's like, but who's the real crazy one? The one who's crazy, or the one who's with the person who's crazy?
That's true. That's a great point, Mike. So tell me this, man. So tell me this. So y'all started off with, the building, right? The event spaces. And then once that shut down, it was cool that you guys, hey, we're not, it seemed like early on, even when y'all shut the doors on that y'all knew y'all still was gonna do something else, right? Just didn't know what it was right away, but eventually Constance kind of motivated and gave, Mike the confidence he needed to, like, hey, let's go in your industry, let's go in your field, what you're good at, and then eventually open up MyCon tax services, which now has branched off into, multiple services under the MyCon tax brand. What does that look like now in terms of, like, because this is the most impressive part to me, is like, how many locations, how y'all expanding in that space, like multiple locations now, also going into different, I think, different cities. Where are you guys at with that business now? And then what's your overall dream for that business?
And we're still growing. as a business. We have like 4 locations. We have 3 in Texas and 1 in Ohio. We've been approached by people who wanted us to franchise as a way to grow, because there are different ways you can grow a business, but we decided at this point that we're not doing the franchise because we have a standard of service that we wish to carry on with our brand. And from experience, we know that once you start franchising, the quality of service starts to change, because the people who purchase the franchise, even though you have perimeters of operation, they can still do things a certain way. And we don't want that, because it goes back to how we chose the name for our company and what the legacy we're trying to grow for our company.
Yeah. And then just also to tap to what you asked, the way things started, right? So uh, we started in Bedford, and then I think that was why everything started, right? So I think it took us about a couple of years to 2 years to sort of get familiar with our client, get familiar with the type of services that we're providing, the tax, was our focus. As we're talking to people, okay, I'm gonna give you a background on how everything basically grew to the level it became. As we're talking to the people, you start noticing where the need is, because as a tax preparer, advisor, you talk about everything, because when people talk, they're asking you question about, hey, I'm thinking about my retirement, okay, how I'm gonna do. Or they have a small businesses, they realize that in their check they don't pay enough tax, okay, or they don't pay themselves enough money, and then they're wondering why they still owe money. So you start realizing here and there where the need, okay, where the need are, and then where the demand also is, and especially with some small businesses, people. When I say small businesses, plumbers, contractor, plumber, HVAC. People that were owning
Online
retail store,
retailer,
online retailer, people owning
makeup.
mechanic shop, transportation, truck, okay, all those people, okay. I told them, and then I realized that by talking to them, just like, listen, okay, you guys entrepreneur, you have your business that you guys try to grow, and then guiding them and realizing that's where the need and the demand, and that's where the question is. This is what kind of allow us to expand to other services, right? And then we realized that people needed some bookkeeping, because I had to, every time when we're talking to them, they want to buy, they want to get a loan, for example, for their business, or they want to purchase a house, okay? And they're gonna ask them, okay, where's your profit and loss, okay? Where's your, we call it point out, your financial, your P&L, all those little stuff. And then they will come to me, hey, Mike, I need this. And then you shall realize, okay, that's a niche. That's an opportunity for me. What about, instead of doing it, at the end of the year, I provide the services where I can maintain your book all throughout the year, so that at any point in time when you need it is ready. And then you start realizing those niche of services that you need. When you did bookkeeping, then you start realizing people, they have employee, okay? Now there's like, okay, I want to pay them you too, okay? All right, well, payroll. Then the payroll come in place. You start realizing those are the kind of need that the company need. And then, as we're talking about people retirement, like not only thinking about long term, because it's also a teaching, right? A teaching moment when we come to it, and then that's the motto of our company, which is
serving the community through tax education, serving the community through serving small businesses through bookkeeping education. Because in doing people's taxes, we find out that, okay, there are other things that they end up needing. Sometimes, people get an audit. It's not just, okay, I'm trying to find money to get a business loan. Sometimes it might be an IRS audit. And everything for small business starts with bookkeeping. And that's one thing that most small businesses struggle with. And people don't understand. It doesn't matter how small your business is. You need to have good bookkeeping, even if you're doing it yourself, or at least get someone to guide you and then you can continue. We offer different levels of service. We don't necessarily have to do it for the individual if they're very small and they can't really afford that, but they can get that guidance. We make it a point to try to educate our clients when they come in. We're not just serving them, okay, oh, we're just doing your taxes. No, we talk to them, okay, your taxes look like this. Why does it look like this? Why do you have a return? Why do you not have a return? Why is your return this amount as opposed to that? So there are lots of things. And when it comes to bookkeeping, okay.
Before you jump in bookkeeping, the reason you see like those conversations that we're having with our client, that was our approach, our philosophy, right? Of how we provide our services. Okay. Like, so we didn't want people, we were tax. There's a lot of tax company, but why somebody would come to us? Okay. All right. Because we don't treat them the way other company would treat them. Okay. We don't consider you like a number. Okay. You go to they don't know you. Okay. I'm sorry. You go to other competitors no, but those are the common ones, different franchisee. Okay. The big
people
one
coming to us,
okay?
A lot of
okay. They come over there and then feedback we're getting before you get to the part of the service is like nobody told me about that. Okay. No, I didn't know anything about that. It's because we do take time to get to know people. We do take time to understand their business, to understand the environment, to understand what drive their life so that we can figure out the tax deduction. All right. That's the way I believe our company separate ourselves from any other company, because we go beyond those numbers. Okay. If I want to do just your W2, the entry, and that's fine. Okay. I will enter the number and then have a nice day. But no, I will spend time, which Constance sometimes complain that I spend way too much time with my customer, where I will sit down with you, go over everything. We will talk so that the more I ask you questions, the more I understand, the more you get to figure out, oh, okay, there is a tax deduction. Not only you figure out, okay, this plus maybe a tax deduction. Oh, yes, I had a babysitter that is taking care of my kid. I'm paying some money. You figure out, okay, this is what. Well, I did some repair in my house and then I spent some money on it. So you realize that, okay, those are all the things that people don't know, that because you have a background, you got to understand it, that you can teach them, you can educate them. And then that's what I believe make us a difference. And then through that process, that's how we're able to find out, okay, all right, there's a demand here, there's a need there, where we figure out that, okay, all right, those are the area that I think if we come with the services like bookkeeping or payroll, those are the things that can, what those clientele needed.
Before we even get to that point with some clients, when we're doing taxes, we figured out there are lots of people who underestimate their business, and they have lucrative businesses, but they do not see it that way. Sometimes you have to kind of point that out to people and let them know, hey, okay, this is what you have. But in order to protect it, in order to grow it, this is what you need to do. You first at least have to maybe register it at least as an LLC. Some people do sole proprietorship. I'm not a big advocate for sole proprietorship just because it doesn't offer you the protections or the separation of your business and the individual. But we see things like that. And then based on that, we try to help people navigate the business structure. And then, okay, this is what you need to do. Okay, now you've gotten your business structure. Where do you want to take your business? Okay, this is what your books need to be looking like. Okay, these are things you've been doing. These are expenses. This is where, and the thing about bookkeeping, why we talk about trying to educate the small business about bookkeeping is because bookkeeping is like the heart of everything. When you do good bookkeeping, you can tell where you're putting all your money, what is draining your money. You can tell what is improving. It's like, okay, for example, when you do good bookkeeping, you can see where your expenses are going, where your income is, and then you can know where to invest. For example, you're putting money into certain things, but when you look at the big picture on your bookkeeping sheet, on your balance sheet, you can say, oh, this stuff is not yielding me anything. I'm spending so much money on this inventory and it's not even moving. So that tells you already, okay, that's a statistic. Cut that down, reduce it. Oh, I'm making more money here. I'm selling more of this stuff. It's growing. Okay, put more money that direction. So we try to teach our clients how to understand what they're looking at also. Okay, what are you looking at on your balance sheet? What is it about your bookkeeping do you need to be paying attention to? Okay, I'm spending this much on payroll for this amount, but okay, I should be putting more employees on this side, pay more on this side. It just gives you a good analysis of your business, and it
Yeah.
also helps you, at the end of the day, you're able to generate your P&L, your profits and loss statement, and know where you're going. It helps you know where you need to go. It helps you know where you are, and it helps you know, okay, this is where I am right now. Okay, what do I need to do to move forward? What do I need to do to improve whatever shortcoming you might have as a business? Those are some of the benefits that you get from that,
Yeah.
and everything kind of just, stems from that.
For sure, for sure. So I think the biggest thing, man, is like because I think you guys offer a wealth of information in terms of business and trying to learn how to do taxes and do taxes the right way. So we definitely gonna put all y'all information, contact information in the show notes because I'm pretty sure we could be here all night talking about all the details of
But
all the different things, right? So, but we want to make sure that we just put that information and if somebody want to talk to y'all about more about, hey man, how do we do our taxes the right way? We are business owners and we just want to, because I know for us, we've shopped, man, year after year after year after year for the right person to do our taxes. And we've been with the same person now for the last 2 years who we feel comfortable with to finally do our taxes. But we were shopping, man, for a while. So I know that some people may still be out there looking for that right home where it's like, hey, I need somebody where I feel comfortable enough, who's knowledgeable enough to really take care of my taxes for me and do them the right way and have my best interests at heart. And then kind of like what Mike said, is not be seen as just a number, right? And create another personal relationship where you feel like, hey, these people are going to take care of me. So we're going to definitely drop your information in the show notes so people can contact you guys, man, and get all that information. And y'all can give them all the details of how MyCon tax services can help them because I know that's not the only service you guys offer. But I really want to just throw some of the other things out there really quick. Like not just taxes. What else? Real quick. Just some of the things that you guys offer under that bookkeeping.
Bookkeeping, payroll, business formation, business structure, document preparation, and also I'm also a licensed agent for life insurance and annuity.
Mm,
That's one thing that, we're also trying to let a lot of small businesses know because one of the biggest thing we realize in doing taxes is that a lot of small businesses, self-employed people, they do not have retirement. And an IUL and annuity gives them an opportunity to kind of create a retirement for themselves. So that's something because, that's kind of something we're normally suggesting things that we know we use for ourselves,
and for our business, yeah.
for our business that we use for ourselves, things that we apply to our personal life that we know work, but we still come up with structure for other people. But that's something that's
Yeah.
very important for
And
small
then
businesses.
also beside tax, but also related to tax, like tax debt resolution and then IRS audit resolution. Those are two things where we realize that a lot of people sometimes when they receive a IRS letter
They start
or
freaking out.
they start freaking out. Okay, so we are there to guide them, to help them deal with the situation under resolution. There's different way to deal with the IRS. We are an accepted agent company, which means that we are recognized by the IRS, okay, to perform a lot of those tax representation agency. I mean tax enrollment for
because
18 number.
he actually would show up to tax court for the client sometimes. He has done that,
So those are the things that we really offer. It's more about extending our services to meet the requirement from and the need and the demand from the client. Okay, and that will be also a quick plug. The reason how we're able to expand our business. Okay, we started in Bedford for 2 years. We had one location. And by the 30 years, we opened 2 locations at the same time, which was the Grand Prairie and the Ferries. Okay, all that was based on the client that we were getting. Okay, and then what usually happened before
mostly
that,
word of mouth.
yeah, word of mouth. So like for ferries, which is like a longer convention, I will sometimes travel on a Sunday, go over there to people's house and then do their tax in
But we don't do
person.
that.
And then it become like, okay, you know, maybe it's time for us. And then we saw that the clientele grew. So it was best for us to open
An office.
an office close to them, so that they don't have to drive
All
an
the way to
hour and hours. So
We
basically,
even have some customers, some clients driving all the way from Austin to come get your taxes done.
yes, from Austin, like he say, I just need to come see Mike. And then that's one of the I guess some of the rewarding things that I think we are doing the right things in the way we approach our tax services with our clients. And then we did open a location in Ohio. That one is again is a long story, but this is where the need to grow, the need to reach out, you know, to get closer to our clientele, to our customer, basically drive the growth of the company, the growth of the business.
Each location that has been opened is because of the client requests. Because normally when we have enough clients requesting, we then go out, we do our research, we drive out there, we do a market research, we look at the location, we look at the competition over there, and then we start doing a site selection. That's kind of what we've had to do. Then after that, then we pinpoint where we're going to move into, we get in there. However, you know, we have a goal, we have a plan in the future. As we're moving along, the goal is to start, you know, owning our locations and not to be leasing the spaces where we have our offices. You know, because remember we talked about the ballroom that we had before and all that. So the ultimate goal is to own all of our locations. And we're already working towards that. And then we get in there.
We can say Bedford. We got a chance to now.
Yeah, we moved this year, early summer, to our own. So yeah, we had it since last year, but we moved into our own building in Bedford this summer.
That's awesome.
And so
Congratulations.
that is a goal for growth, you know, because it makes more sense. If you're paying for lease, the amount you're paying sometimes is even more than the mortgage for the commercial property. So why not?
For sure. Wow. Listen, MyCon Tax Services is doing it big. So, man,
Right.
listen, hey, man, we appreciate y'all, man, so much, man, for sharing your story and all the success y'all having. But it was good to hear that, hey, y'all in a place now where the growth and the success is happening, but it all started with a failing business first. So y'all can learn what y'all want and don't want, right? It started with something totally different, the event planning business, but that might have been y'all tuition, right? To learn and to grow and mentally and then now to take all that what you have learned into your MyCon tax services to make it the thriving business that it is today, man. So we appreciate you guys, man, for sharing your story with us. It's been absolutely amazing. Really quick, let people know, and we're going to have it in the show notes, but let people know how they can contact you guys if they wanted to reach out to you for tax services or bookkeeping or any one of the many services that you guys provide.
Well, they can just go to mycontax.com, MyContax.com. So they can go to mycontax.com. And once you get on the website, you can just click on contact us. You can also go to myconbookkeeping.com and contact us, myconpayroll.com, contact us. And we're online. You can just Google MyCon Tax Services also. And we should pull up different locations and the phone numbers to reach out to us.
Yeah. Hey, man. That's how you that's how you tell them. Just like, man, Google me. Just Google me. Google me, baby. Hey, I like it. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you guys so much, man, for sharing your story. And we wish you much success, man. Continued success. Y'all doing it. It's inspiring, it's encouraging. And listen, man. Hey, Mike, how daddy feeling about you now, man? Dad father-in-law feeling good about you now?
He is my best friend. Matter of fact, he called me. He called me when
we talk about football.
Yeah, I'm a sports fan, so I'm a Cowboys fan, so we are like on the phone all the
Cowboy,
time.
wait, you're a who fan?
The Cowboys giving us.
Wait. Michael.
We about to end this
Listen,
podcast, y'all.
You say you're a who fan? You're a who fan?
Hey, where do you live, Wana, sir? Where are you? You forgot.
Hey, you were doing good until you said that, man.
Man,
no cowgirl fan, man, but
Yeah, if you come to the office, you realize what blood I'm bleeding.
Blue.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know because I ain't never coming to the office. No, man, it it's all love, man. I won't let a little raggedy star stop me from dropping by, man.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
please.
Hey, man, we wish you guys much success, man. We really do.
Yeah,
Once again, thank you guys for
thank
being
you
on the
for having me.
podcast. We really do appreciate it.
That's you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey,
Thank
man,
you
y'all
so
want to tap
much.
in? Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
You're very,
and
very
thanks for the
welcome.
Absolutely. Hey, y'all want to tap in, man, with MyCon tax services? Y'all got the info, man. Contact them, let them get your taxes taken care of, man, and any other financial services you need. MyCon tax services got you covered, man. So, hey, man, this has been a good one, man. But hey, we got to get up on out of here, man. My name is Kevin. This is my boo thing,
Tanya.
and this is Couples Connect, and we out. Peace.